Today, I am going to break down the most iconic and influential offense in the history of football. And I'm going to show you how you can run it in Madden 22. Nothing has had a bigger impact on the sport than the West Coast offense and its creator, Bill Walsh. Though Walsh is synonymous with the 49ers, he actually first developed his offense in the 1970s during his time with the Cincinnati Bengals. This took place under his mentor, the legend Paul Brown, and though the scheme had a ton of success, it wasn't until he moved to the 49ers and teamed up with Joe Montana did the offense truly take off and become the iconic force that we think of today.
The original stanzas of the West Coast offense that Walsh penned in Cincinnati grew into volumes of poetry in motion in San Francisco.
Walsh completely altered how his offense chose to attack. He wanted to pass early and often to get ahead, and then by the end of the game, he would run the ball to close you out. Walsh implemented this scheme with a maniacal approach and an insane attention to detail, with really a scientific way of thinking, which flew in the face of conventional NFL wisdom of the time. This led the 1980s 49ers to have one of the most legendary runs ever. Over an 8-year stretch between 1981 and 1988, the offense was able to finish top 5 in the NFL in yards in 7 of 8 seasons and top 10 in points every year while winning 3 Super Bowls. But the West Coast offense did not stop here. Far from it. Walsh disciples spread throughout the NFL and college football, completely altering how offenses approach playing football forever. George Seifert continued with the 49ers after Walsh left and won 2 more Super Bowls. Walsh's old QB coach Mike Holmgren took over the Packers and had a young upstart QB by the name of Brett Favre, who broke almost every NFL passing record running this offense. And Andy Reid has had decades of success with the Philadelphia Eagles and is rewriting the record book to this day with the Chiefs. Now, each one of these coaches and countless others took the West Coast principles and led to evolution for this scheme throughout time, but it can all be traced back to the mad scientist himself, Bill Walsh. The principles of the West Coast offense are really what sets it apart and is the backbone for everything we are going to be trying to accomplish. Now, instead of relying on a deep vertical pass game, we'll be relying a ton on a short horizontal attack to stretch the defense out and give us easy completions. Then when the D overplays to stop this, we can implement deep shots down the field and sprinkle in the run game. Timing passes between the receiver and the QB are absolutely crucial. There will be a ton of 3 and 5 step drop where the ball will come out as soon as the QB hits the back of his drop. For most route combos in this scheme, they'll be predicated on a triangle concept. This will create a horizontal and vertical stretch with 3 receivers and allow for an easy read while you only have to look to one area of the field. And then if nothing is open, we'll have a check down underneath. I will be going over this triangle read concept really in depth in a later video. Then in Walsh's classic West Coast offense, they were in a split back look and placed a huge emphasis on running backs catching the ball out of the backfield and sending them out on routes from either side of the field. Now, there's going to be a ton of content out for free for this West Coast offense on my YouTube channel. But if you really want to take it to the next level, you have to check out my website, Scheme Kings. There's going to be a ton more up on the site to make this scheme absolutely nasty and one of the best schemes you will use all year. Then up on the site right now is a full 8-play mini scheme out of the formation single back east. This mini scheme is very tough to stop and is going to give us a head start on O. Then for the next week, I will be running my last sale of Madden 22 on the website. If you use code WEST at checkout, you will get 50% off of your first month. And this code will be active for the next 7 days. This will unlock all of the West Coast scheme as it comes out, but you also get full access to my past schemes like my empty manning offense and my Steelers zone blitz defense. Now, if you want to check out Scheme Kings, I will leave a link down in the description below. Now, for this offense, we will be, of course, using the West Coast Playbook. But we will also be using the exact same personnel grouping throughout the whole scheme, and that will be 21 personnel. That means we are going to have 2 running backs, 1 tight end, and 2 wide receivers on the field at all times. And for the formations we are using in this scheme, we are going to be putting a huge emphasis on the near and far formations. It will be the closest thing we can get in Madden to what Walsh ran, and we'll have numerous quick timing passes to get the ball out. We'll have options to beat every coverage, whether it's it's man or zone, and when they start to overplay to take away the quick passes, we can hit deep shots down the field to give us some quick scores. Then to give us even more dimensions to the pass game, we'll be motioning our halfback out in the formation a ton to become a third wide receiver. Then next we will be looking at our single back sets, like single back east, doubles north, and doubles flex. These sets will once again put a huge emphasis on the quick passing game, but we'll also have more intermediate passing concepts to make sure we don't get too predictable and make sure this scheme is viable for Madden. Now in these formations, we will have a third receiver on the field, but at that spot, we will be using our halfback. This will allow us to keep the exact same personnel on the field as our near and far sets. Now we're going to go over the main stars of this offense. Now all the positions are important, but if you can nail down these star players, you are going to be in a great spot. First is the QB. Now the player we will be emulating is Joe Montana. He is one of the legends of the game and was one of the most accurate passers of all time. He was able to win 2 league MVPs and 4 Super Bowls while being the captain of this offense. So for our QB, he needs to have a good arm but great precision, accuracy, and an underrated skill is his athleticism. He needs to be able to get back into his drops and buy some extra time if we are getting beat. For abilities in this spot, we want to use a throwing ability, whether it's pass lead elite, gunsling, or a set feet lead. I'm using pass lead elite, and this is going to get way more zip on the ball and allow you to get those throws into the tight windows. Then we are also using hot route master. This is going to give us the ability to put any route combo we need on the field. In this spot, I am using Joe Namath. The next stars of this offense are 2 outside receivers. Now, wide receiver 1, we want our Jerry Rice. Now, Rice is considered by most to be the best wide receiver in NFL history and by many to be the best player at any position ever. He spent his whole career in the West Coast offense and retired with every major receiving record in NFL history. Now, for our wide receiver 1, he doesn't need to be huge, but he needs to be a great route runner and have incredible hands. At this spot, I'm using Cooper Kupp, and I have route tech on him to give him easy separation against man coverage. Then at our wide receiver 2, we want a big physical ball win. We really want to be able to throw this ball to this player whenever we need to and have full confidence he's going to come down with it. But having speed to win deep down the field is a bonus in this spot. I'm using Calvin Johnson, and for abilities, I have short in and short out elite on him. This gives him quick separation against man coverage on short routes. And the last star to nail down for this scheme is our halfback. This is going to be our Roger Craig. Now, he is one of the most underrated players ever and was equally as dangerous as a runner and a receiver. He helped unlock Walsh's scheme by giving him an unstoppable moving chess piece. For our running back, he must have speed and tremendous receiving abilities. We will be passing the ball to him a ton underneath, and he needs to be explosive. But we will also be splitting him out wide, so get as good of a route runner as possible. Now, in this spot, I am using Reggie Bush, and for abilities, I have Jukebox. This will make him even more dangerous in the open field once he gets the ball, and we have backfield mismatch. This will give him improved routes and catching from the backfield. Then for the rest of the players in this offense, we are going to start with our fullback. We want a powerful inside runner, and he is going to get a ton of dives up the middle. He needs to be able to pick up those tough yards, but he also will be catching passes out of the backfield, so he needs to be athletic enough to make plays in space. At this spot, we have Derrick Henry, and we are using the bruiser ability. This will give him better truck animations to get those tough yards. Then at our tight end, we really want an all-around possession type player who is a very good run blocker and can make those tough contested catches. I am using Mike Ditka in this spot. We will have short and elite to give him easy separation against man coverage. Now, if you want to use this scheme in regs, I think your best bet would be to use the Buffalo Bills, the Green Bay Packers, or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, having an explosive passing offense that you know can pick up huge yards all over the field is great, but none of that is going to matter if you can't get stops on defense. So if you want to learn what I think is the best way to play defense in Madden 22, you need to check out this video right here.